all of the major news agencies are publicly traded companies. That should be the first red light that there is going to be a conflict of interest here. This is a publicly traded company that is selling shares of its stock with the executive's primary responsibility to be the shareholders' net stock value and wealth, not the truth. If shares rose and dropped based on the truth of the news that was being reported, we would see far better journalism. There's no more trust anymore because the truth is no longer being propagated. Nobody believes what they're seeing on the major news outlets.
So there's a vacuum of truth right now. They're not getting it from the journalistic sources, and they're certainly not getting it from our government sources.
Here's
so there's
what
a
I'll
vacuum.
say. The true journalists are no longer marketable because they don't sell the greatest ratings. You look at the big news networks. I don't care if it's Fox, MSNBC, CNN, I don't care who it is. You look at them, what they have is superstars that are competing against one another for market share, for ratings. They basically start and end their programs now speaking about their ratings over one or another agency, as opposed to spending their hour or half an hour talking about news from an unbiased perspective, showing the countering points as to why somebody maybe did something where, according to one perspective, looks like an evil deed without knowing the opposing perspective.
There's two sides to every story.
Correct.
Right.
Hold everyone accountable, including myself, to making sure that if something is said that is not true, or if something is said that is biased, I show the other side. For example, the Bethel Today website had an opinion article on the quote, no bid paramedic contract that went out for the Advanced Life Saving System, the ALS program, the paramedic intercept system. And in that opinion article, now the Bethel Today website is the website for the Bethel's Democratic Town Committee. In that article, it made several claims. One, that it never went out to bid. That is false. So on bethelct.info, I updated the site to show the actual request for proposal that was published in the newspaper, along with the Board of Selectmen minutes that corresponded with the new contract. So there's one false detail that they put into this opinions article that, and this is supposed to represent the Democratic Town Committee, the leadership of that town committee, and I feel that they have an obligation to present the truth to the town. There shouldn't be political partisanship. Again, truth should not be a casualty to politics. Secondly, they had inquired about the lowest responsible bidder getting the job. The key is the lowest responsible bidder happens to be the Danbury Healthcare that got the job, and the reason why the other bidder, whose name I won't mention because I'm not trying to destroy anybody here, had 2 felony convictions, and those felony convictions are also documented on the website. So something I am trying to do is to just
lay it out there.
Just lay out, here is everything. Here is what they said. Here's what actually happened. Here's the documentation for and against that, and let people come to their own conclusions, leading back to the media. Why can't the media do that? If me, myself, and I, along with the little bit of help that I have, can sift through these lies at a local level, why can't the media, with their hundreds of millions of dollars and their high ratings, propagate the truth to the people without the bias? I am going to make sure that any public document that is obtainable via FOI, that is in support of or in rebuttal to any claim by any party during this election season, will be available so that the people of Bethel can come to their own opinions without relying on rumor and hearsay from their party leadership.
Hopefully that'll work.
Well, we're going to find out this year how easily lies can be disproven. And so what happens? So now you have political parties, instead of creating a vision and a direction and a message,
focusing on the positive,
focusing on the issues at hand, they're focusing on battling each other. If anyone is coming in from any side and proposing increased spending and increased debt service to propagate their plan. That's personally me as a voter, and as a resident of Bethel. That doesn't even, the engine doesn't even start on that plan. Debt services as it is the only reason Bethel taxes increased. We have to get away from this concept of borrowing more to spend more to expand the size of the town more. What we have to start to look at is how do we consolidate what we have while at the same time saving the jobs of those people that are needed, necessities for the town, so that we don't add the additional burden onto unemployment. Spending needs to be halted by looking at ways to consolidate what it is that we provide to our residents to create a more efficient structure, a more efficient municipal model. Any candidate that runs and has a plan, I am going to make sure that their plan is in line with state statutes. A lot of times what happens is people have these great plans that get voters behind them. But if we have somebody that gets in here with a 5-year plan that's too good to be true, they may not know the statutes and the limitations and the bonds that hold municipalities from implementing the ideas that they have that seem like they're common sense but may have been tried by this administration or administrations in the past and have failed because of state statutes that limit the leadership ability to implement certain things. So this isn't making up excuses for not having a plan. This is making sure that the plan that anyone puts forth is actually feasible from go. The more we expand our government, the slower everything is going to churn, and the more expensive life here in America is going to be for businesses, small businesses, corporations, and we're going to get to a point where the only people that are going to be benefiting from this great system are those that don't go to work anymore. We've got people in this town that have invested their lifetime to researching biofuel type alternate energy sources. And we happen to have leadership in the town right now that is trying to cooperate with different individuals to utilize the existing industrial zones and the existing space to implement alternative energy sources that are pollution-free, smell-free, that would reduce traffic in and out of the industrial zones because the usage would change, where instead of tractor trailers going by, you'd be able to use a rail spike which goes right through the area to generate electricity, to lower the cost of electricity for Bethel residents, sell it back into the grid, and also add tax revenue for the town. These are things that are being worked on right now. So I hope that whoever runs for first selectman for this town and gets elected understands there are a lot of mechanisms involved to navigating through this economic storm. There are a lot of things that are being implemented currently that need to be followed through on. You have Francis J. Clark Park that's emptying out. You have developers that would like to develop that space and diversify the business industries and commerce that exist in Bethel so that Bethel doesn't turn into another small town in Michigan. I hate to drive up Stony Hill Road and see empty lots with dilapidated buildings.
At this point, that's a problem.
When you have an artery such as Interstate 84 running right in the backcourt.